Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. There is Keel and Right to Rock right here. And Jerry, to be honest with you, whenever I need an attitude adjustment, or I just go on my pickup truck and I go for a ride and I turn that song up as loud as it will ever go.
Nice.
And it takes me back to the first time I heard it. And we want to welcome back a friend of Rock and Metal Revival, the vocalist on that song, Mr. Ron-Keel. Welcome back to the show, Ron.
Greetings, Red and Jerry, Rock and Metal Revival, and all your listeners. Man, thanks so much for having me. I love the show, and the response has been incredible on KRFK Radio, by the way. Everybody loves your show.
Really?
I'm glad to be on it this week.
Well,
Wow.
we appreciate that,
Yeah.
Ron. I mean, seriously. And, Ron, first I have to say, you might be, if not, the busiest man in the music business. I mean,
swear.
Tell us a little bit about RFK Media and what's been going on with you since the last time we talked.
Man, if I'm not the busiest guy in the business, I'm running a close second. But, man, I love what I do, and I just want to entertain people in any way that I possibly can. So I've started my new label, RFK Media, rfkmedia.com, which is going to be the house for all of my products, projects, music, video, audio, the radio station, comedy. We're going to do art. We're going to do everything we can. It's all media. It's all art. And really excited about getting that company launched, and we're off to a great start.
Nice. Now, the last...
And by the way, but let me interview you for just a second. You introduced that last song as Keel. Was that the old 85 version you just played, or was it the new Ron-Keel Band version
the remix
of Right to Rock from Keeled?
It's Keeled. That's the song from Keeled.
The remix
Yeah, the remix.
version. Yeah, very cool
Okay,
sounding.
well, the name of the band is Ron-Keel
Keel
Band. That is not Keel.
Okay.
There's a big difference. A lot of people don't understand that, but there is a difference. So I want to give my guys credit, man. These guys
I
have
hear
been with
that.
me 7 years. We are busting our asses out there on the road and in the studio, and I want to make sure they get credit for that and not, of course, I love my boys in Keel. That's a brotherhood. But Ron-Keel Band has released a new album, an EP called Keeled, which features re-recorded versions of the 80s Keel classics, and apparently that's what you just played.
Yeah,
exactly.
And thank you for playing it.
Nice. Now, who's in the Ron-Keel Band?
The drummer, the bass player, the keyboard player, and the lead guitar player.
They have no names. They're just there.
No,
They're
dude,
just
I
there.
love my guys. I will give them a hype on the radio anytime. Jeff the Rev Kohler on drums, David
Nice.
Cawthorn on lead guitar, Jason Haven on lead guitar, Scott Schmidt on the bass, on the keyboards, and Lee Jameson on bass. Love
Nice.
my guys. It's a very tight unit, and we have been working hard these past 7 years, and finally it's starting to pay off with the new EP on the charts and
Nice.
some big gigs coming up this year.
Outstanding.
Nice.
Now, Ron, I got to ask you, you've got a pretty extensive catalog of your own music. What made you pick the songs that you have currently on the Keeled EP?
When I put Ron-Keel Band together 7 years ago, we were doing a lot of cover songs and doing the biker events. We were the Badlands house band here for this franchise here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where I live, and we were not allowed to play any original music during that show except for the Keel hits. So we played those songs during the course of the concert show, and when we broke out on our own as Ron-Keel Band, I wanted to get the guys in the studio to establish Ron-Keel Band as a recording act, but we didn't have any new original material. I said, let's just go in the studio and cut these Keel songs that are already in the show. So it was quick, easy, fun, and I believe these songs deserved a second chance. I always wanted to sing Tears of Fire. Especially that one. That's a career song for me. It's a signature tune from my catalog that I felt deserved a second shot. And I'm really proud of the vocals on this new record. And, of course, we're going to keep that tradition alive. We are re-recording some more Keel classics for our next album project. And, I expected, first of all, when I announced that I was releasing an album of re-recorded material, for the fans to all give me this backlash. We love the original versions, and I did get some of that before the album release. But once it came out 4 or 6 weeks ago, I have not received one comment from on social media or an email or a message or anything that fans are the old school fans are embracing these new versions, and the new fans are embracing these old songs. So I'm really grateful for that.
Nice. Now, we've had you on the show a few times, and I never got the chance to ask you what. I want to go back to way back, like the Steeler.
Of course you
Steeler
do.
days.
Everybody wants to go way back. Who doesn't want to go back?
I know. I'd love to be
Except
back
for
there.
me. I'm good. I want to move forward. But
Nice.
go ahead. Sorry.
But Steeler, I just got a chance to listen to that album last night, and I'm like, wow. Like, what did you think the first time you heard Yngwie play, and how did he end up in the band? Because, I mean, he was in Sweden, right? I mean, is this his first thing coming over, or what?
Wow, this is really cool because I've never addressed this in an interview before. So it's really cool that I can express it on your show. I've never told the Yngwie story.
Oh.
I heard a demo tape of Yngwie at Mike Varney's house in Northern California on January 1st, 1983, and I thought he had something very special to offer, and we brought him to America and did the Steeler album together, and the rest is history.
Yeah, great. I mean, the songs are really good, and, I mean, the playing is just outstanding. I mean, what...
Well, I've always been blessed with great musicians, and I've played with some of the best guitar players in the business.
Oh, yeah.
From Mark Ferrari, Brian Jay, Akihito Kinoshita from Saber Tiger, Mitch Perry, who is now the guitar player in Steeler, who replaced Yngwie in 1983. Oh, okay. And we are working on new Steeler songs for the Keeled World album coming out next January.
Oh,
outstanding!
Sweet.
Hey, Ron, I got to ask you, now that you have joined forces with a common friend that we both have in Corey at Uncontrolled Noise to start a killer online radio station called KRFK, which you can hear this show Fridays at 10 a.m. Central. Now, was your mission like ours when we started this show to get great music out to the rock fans that is ignored by mainstream radio, along with the classics we all love to hear?
A great question. And my mission is simply to entertain people and give them good music and good times. It just so happens that there's so much great new music coming out, and always not only our heroes and our favorites, Judas Priest and Scorpion's great new album, but new bands that deserve to be heard. And I play stuff that I like on my show. On the station, KRFK Radio, that's all over the map, man. You're going to hear great rock from all genres and all eras. But on my Streets of Rock and Roll syndicated show, I really love to showcase new bands and new songs and new artists that you're not going to hear anywhere else.
Nice,
really. Now, tell me about this. The first band you guys got signed right now is the band called The Fifth. Where'd you discover these guys, and what can we expect to hear from these guys?
The Fifth is a killer rock star band out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. The lead singer has some credibility and a track record with a band called Cold Sweat, which was formed by Mark Ferrari from Keeled.
Okay.
Back in 89, 90, and they had a great record on MCA called Breakout. And Roy and I have been friends since then. So you're looking at, over 30 years we've been friends, and he has still maintained that fire, that passion, that drive, that personality, and the pipes to lead and front a band, create great songs. And when it came time to form my own label, it's not just about my product and my albums and projects. I really want to cultivate rock stars and people that have the talent and the drive to succeed. And that was the first signing to RFK Media. The Fifth is out on tour. Starting here in about 10 days, they're hitting the road for 8 states. And I can't wait to hear their new album later this year on RFK Media.
Outstanding.
Nice.
Well, Ron, you kind of touched on it a couple times about this compilation that you're putting together called Keeled that we'll be hearing in January of 2023. What can you tell us about that? Can you let the cat out of the bag a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm very proud to promote that. We're going to ramp up towards that release for the rest of the year with some single releases from Keel, Ron-Keel Band, Steeler, Fair Game, Iron Horse, The Rattlers. It's all new music. That's what I want to emphasize and stress. This is it's not re-recordings. It's not unreleased stuff from the archives. This is all brand new music from all of my projects, from my entire career. Really a bucket list thing for me, and a collection of all the celebration of the friendships that I have with the guys in all those bands and girls in Fair Game. And it's a challenge to put this thing together. It's very expensive. It's very challenging, but when it gets said and done, I think it's going to be the album of a lifetime. Keel World coming in January of 2023 from RFK Media.
Nice. Now, your last album you put out was the covers album, the South by South Dakota. Is there any more plans for... I loved those Southern rock covers you did. Are there any more plans for any more of those to come out?
Thank you. And that was a true labor of love and a very organic project, which happened in the studio. We didn't even know we were recording when we cut those songs as kind of warming up in the morning. We'd come in with a cup of coffee and hash out some Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster, or some of the old Southern rock classics that we know and love, Rockin' Into the Night by 38 Special.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of that record. We want to keep that tradition going, and we are in the studio now. I can tell you, we're going to keep the drum set up, and we're going to keep recording until we have to pack the drums into the truck to go on the road this summer. So we're going to record as much as we possibly can. New Ron-Keel Band music, new Keel re-recordings. We're doing a couple of Keel songs that I can't mention. I don't think I should. Yeah. I'd love to. But some Southern rock covers as well. So I would love to end up with as much material as possible. While we're in the studio recording, we're going to grind it out, man. And that Southern rock spirit and tradition is deep in my blood. I very much enjoy trying to challenge myself to give a new take, a new spin on those songs that we all know and love from the Southern rock heroes.
So, Ron, you mentioned touring and getting out on the road and playing these songs live. How many dates have you got set up, and where can people find out where they can come see the Ron-Keel Band?
There's one stop for everything that I do, and that's ronkeel.com. Get on the mailing list, track us on bands in town. The tour dates are listed on the website as we are allowed to confirm them and announce them. But one of the big ones, the big elephant in the room on the calendar this year is Rocktember in Hinkley, Minnesota, September 9th and 10th. We're on the bill with Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, Winger, Quiet Riot, Jackal. It's going to be a huge Midwest rock festival called Rocktember. You can get tickets at rocktember.net, and the Ron-Keel Band will be there with a great time slot on Saturday afternoon, September 10th.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Now, a lot of artists are writing books nowadays. Any plans for a Ron-Keel life story book here? I mean, you don't. Come on, you got plenty of time, obviously. I mean, come on.
My book, Even Keel, Life on the Streets of Rock and Roll, was released in 2014.
Oh, geez. Well, update.
And right now we are in the process of adding a bunch of new content to the book.
Cool.
As I said, it was published in 2014, and there's a lot to add. The last 7 years have been a one hell of a ride. Let's say that. And there's a lot of stories that I left out of the first edition. So we're re-releasing that later this year, probably in the fall, close to the holidays, once I get all these additional chapters written. But there's a lot of stuff you can still get the original version on Kindle or from Barnes & Noble as a Nook book, as an ebook. That is still available. The original book is out of print because I want to redo it and add to it and just make it, instead of 360 pages, it's going to be probably, gosh, I don't know, it's going to be a little bit thicker when I get done adding these chapters and the new content and some of the stuff that I left out of the original edition. So I'm excited about that.
Cool.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Cool.
Hey, Ron, I gotta ask. Last time I talked to you, the last time I interviewed you, was during the pandemic, and Jerry and I couldn't be in the studio together, so I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with you, and we were talking about what the pandemic was like for both of us at that time. Do you think that anything good came out of that? I mean, as far as writing and... I mean, because we're all kind of just searching for something, searching for new music and searching for, a release. And I know you gave us that by that South by South Dakota album. I mean, how did you get through it without going crazy like the rest of us?
Another great question. And you can find a lot of my answers to that question in a new movie called When the Band Stops Playing, which is a documentary film that features myself, Michael Sweet from Stryper, Jeff Pilson from Dawkins and Foreigner, Jesse from Jackal, and some other great rock and roll friends and people in the industry, in the concert promotion industry, the venues, the merchandisers. It's a great documentary film about the effects of COVID-19 on the concert industry. Now, that being said, from a personal standpoint, 2020 was the busiest year of my life and one of the best business times of my life. I did not write a single song that year. I've caught up lately because we've got a lot of great new songs in the pipeline. But for myself, we still did a world tour in 2020. I was in Australia, did the Monsters of Rock cruise, just got home in time for the lockdown after the Australian tour. And here in the Midwest, we never shut down.
Yeah.
We did the Sturgis Rally for 250,000 people. We played the State Fair, a lot of other gigs that year. So for me, it was business as usual. I love being on the road and entertaining people, but I do that from home on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Ron-Keel. In fact, later on today, the Patreon members are going to get a demo of a brand new song I just wrote yesterday.
Whoa.
And they're going to be able to see me demo that song live in the studio later on today. So I'm always entertaining people. I'm one of those few guys that did not write or record or really release anything during the pandemic except South by South Dakota, and that record was already done before the pandemic hit us. And did anything good come out of it? There's a lot of great music, a lot of great bands, a lot of great songs that all they could do during that time was write and record music. And we're playing a lot of that on KRFK Radio and on the Streets of Rock and Roll and on Rock and Metal Revival.
Nice. Now, I listened to the Keeled release yesterday with all the remixes, and they sound great, man. But I was wondering if you think the song Here Today, Gone Tomorrow could have benefited from maybe adding some cowbell to the remix? Come on, it could. Come on.
Well, I encourage everyone who listens to that song, grab the cowbell and the drumstick and just bang along with it, man. I mean, what couldn't use more cowbell, really?
Jerry, I see it.
Jerry thinks Amazing Grace could use some cowbell.
Heck yeah. Would have been a hit.
Yeah.
Would have been a big hit.
Big hit, yeah.
And that's what great story. That's what we use in the studio when we're cutting tracks, the click track. And you have a click track, which is basically a metronome as the guys are playing the songs in the studio, and it's always a cowbell, as opposed to a tick, 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 tick. It's a cowbell because it's a musical instrument, and we always hear the cowbell in our headphones and on the studio monitors. And when you take it out, I miss it. I think, man, let's put the cowbell back in there. It's just a great instrument, and I enjoy playing the cowbell every now and then when I get on stage. But I think Here Today, Gone Tomorrow stands on its own without cowbell. Perhaps
Yeah.
we could put cowbell in Tears of Fire instead.
Oh,
There you go.
Much
you go.
better during a power ballad.
There you go.
That would work. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, hey, Ron, we appreciate every time you come on the show. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the fact that you got us on KRFK Friday mornings, 10 o'clock Central. And we appreciate that all the great music you've been putting out. And we want to thank you once again for coming on Rock and Metal Revival. And we always let our artists pick the song out of the interview. Is there something off Keeled that you'd like us to play?
You want to play one of my songs on your show?
We play your songs a lot on our show.
Really?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we?
Well, which one did you just play? That
The
you
Right
just
to Rock
labeled
we
as
just played.
Keel at the top of the interview.
Keeled, yeah. That was Right to Rock. We played that one.
Well, you got to hit Tears of Fire, man. This is one of the signature songs of my entire career, and a song that always works. It's always part of the show, and I'm extremely proud of the new version of Tears of Fire from Keeled. You can get that at Ron-Keel.com. I'll sign your CD and get it in the mail to you right now, but you can hear it right now on Rock and Metal Revival. This is Tears of Fire from the Ron-Keel Band.